Hello everyone, my name is Carol Bakelor and I live in Stafford Township, New Jersey. Here's a map of Stafford Township. As you can see, we have a bridge that goes over to Long Beach Island, which is a island beach resort kind of thing where lots of rentals and beach fun happens. We have the Garden State running through our town, and Route 9, which is also very busy with lots of lights, and the main thoroughfare through for businesses to reach shopping and things like that is Route 72. Stafford Township has 26,535 people in it. 48.3% are male, 51.7% are female. The median age of the population is 43.9, and those aged 0 to 19 make up 25.3% of the population. Those aged 20 to 54 is 38% of the population, and those aged 55 to 85 make up 32.6% of the population. The racial composition of Stafford Township is 94.5% white, 1% black, 0.2% American Indian or Alaska Native, 1.5% Asian, and 5.3% Latino. According to the Ohio State University, the criteria for rating a community entails evaluating the following areas: safety, goods and services, interaction among the people in the community, and shared common goals and values, as well as residents that are seen as whole people, predictability, people are able to find a place within the community, people have opportunities to find enjoyment, purpose, and the means to grow, and homogeneity. If we look at Stafford Township safety, the first thing that comes to mind are crime statistics. And so you can see here that in Stafford Township in 2014 there were 17 violent crimes and 341 nonviolent crimes. And you can see there was a rape, 3 robberies, and 13 aggravated assaults. The nonviolent crimes break down as 281 larceny incidents, 12 motor vehicle thefts, and 48 burglaries. So it's low, but people are not used to crime here, and as you can see, it also increased a little on the other page. If you go back, you can see that the crimes increased here, violent crime. So that was a concern for the community. Another area of safety is the water, drinking water in Stafford Township. And I thought I would include that in light of all the scandals concerning lead in the water for communities in New Jersey. And as you can see, the test results show acceptable levels and no real problems. Another part of safety in Stafford Township has to do with fatalities in car crashes. And so you can see that Ocean County is second among all the counties in New Jersey. I think there are 21. And that's rather high, so we want to look at why that is. And the first thing to know is that the population for Long Beach Island swells to about 100,000 during the summer, season of beach going. And so the people come up the parkway from up north or come this way from Philadelphia and go right to the beach. And this population comes for about a week and then leaves for about a week, largely. And so you have a lot of cars and a lot of people on these roads, and that is probably the explanation for such a high fatality rate for Stafford Township and Ocean County. According to Hockman, of those seeking treatment for heroin or opiates, the most were in Ocean County. This is compared to the state. The 3,688 admitted for treatment in Ocean County accounted for 13% of all those admitted through the state, even though Ocean County only accounts for about 6.5% of the total state population. So this is drug use is a concern, and you can see that in Ocean County, 17,875 people were arrested on charges that were related to alcohol and drug use. So that's an area of big concern for this area. The goods and services of Stafford Township, in this category, I wanted to start with the unemployment rate because it's quite high in my eyes. And right now it's about a little less than 9%, it looks like, but it's also higher than the state average, and New Jersey, the New Jersey rate is also higher than the national average. So right now jobs are tight in Stafford Township, and a lot of them are entry-level jobs. So that's an area of concern. So the largest employer in Stafford Township are the Education and Health Services. Next comes the Trade and Transportation and Utilities. And you can see the other categories here. But when the housing bubble happened and the recession hit, many trade jobs were lost, and a lot of people in Manahawkin lost their homes and their businesses. That was very hard. As reported in the County Community Fact Book, due to increased demand for services brought about by rapid population growth, helped boost the county's payrolls in educational and health services and leisure and hospitality during the 2007-2012 period. However, the single-family housing market was the underlying strength of the county's economy, and the recession caused a lot of jobs lost in the construction sector, and the figure is 2,457 jobs over that period. Ocean County also had a per capita personal income of $43,200 for 2014, and that is ranked 18th among the state's 21 counties. So people don't have a whole lot of extra money. Also, the poverty rate is 5% in Ocean County. It can be seen as rather low, but it has been increasing for the community, and people are not used to having a lot of poverty around. So what are some of the resources that Stafford has? Well, there's a local hospital, Southern Ocean Medical Center. There are adequate doctors and dentists serving the areas. There is much shopping to do here. food stores, clothes stores, department stores, many, many, many restaurants. I think when I looked it up, there were about 700 restaurants listed in Stafford Township. Um, Schools, there are 3 local pre-K through 6 schools placed strategically in the town, and grades 7 through 12 is housed in a regional high school in Stafford Township. These schools are rated very well by the community. There are 9 local parks and beach access in Stafford Township. There are also 3 community centers that people can use. I would say that the interaction among Stafford Township, New Jersey community members is very high. There are a number of senior complexes that have activities for their residents, and the township has a very active recreation department that provides sports teams, summer camps, and many Easter egg hunts, things like that for the children of the community. The schools have a strong music and performing arts department as well as a very strong sports department. So there are many, many activities for kids to be part of. Also, there are all kinds of clubs that kids can go to. For instance, if you're a math geek, you can go to a math club, or if you want to do community service, you can go to a community service club. So there are many, many things for kids to do here. The local hospital coordinates a very large volunteer program. There are 15 churches in the community. We have a community garden. And here's a great example of an informal group that came about after Hurricane Sandy. It stands for Stafford Teachers and Area Residents Together. So this was a bunch of teachers who helped another teacher clean out her flooded house, and it snowballed into many, many people going to houses all over the community to clean up, throw out trash, rip out wallboards. They did thousands upon thousands of free work for the community to help their neighbors. It was wonderful to see. Other formal groups that I know of are uh, home book clubs, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, pickup hockey, the Elks, the Lions, things like that. Very, very involved community. So is there a sharing of common goals and interests in Stafford Township? I would say that the strongest common goal and interest lie in having good schools and providing activities for children. For example, the local Chamber of Commerce raised almost $600,000 for scholarships for the graduating class of 2016. They do this every year also. Do residents know each other as whole people? Many, many teachers, hospital workers, the police force, and business owners live and work in Stafford Township. And so they are seen as whole people, people who have families as well as businesses, or teachers who visit the beach, for instance. So there's that's a high rating for residents knowing each other as whole people. Stafford Township is well organized with planned community events and well-established local businesses, so the predictability factor is high. People can establish a place in the community. In certain areas, this is strong. An example of a disabled man whose motorized wheelchair broke, his neighbors noticed it, and because they didn't see him riding around, and they worked together, raised money by themselves to replace that. And now that wheelchair, and now this man is able to get around the community, and people know that he's coming and going again. Racial tensions are not an issue here, and so it seems like people in minorities seem to be able to establish a place in the Stafford Township, which is very good. The one area, though, that is a little troubling is that employment for high school and college graduates are inadequate to support independent living. So um, if they want to stay in a community, they usually end up living with their parents, and it's very hard for that age sector. So do people have an opportunity to find enjoyment, purpose, and a means to grow at Stafford? There are many places to find involvement in many different kinds of activities, as spoken about before in the presentation. Again, there are not enough professional jobs that would support young people wishing to stay in the community. So that is a problem. Homogeneity. The racial makeup of the population, mostly white, coupled with a relatively even age distribution, fosters homogeneity. The community is largely focused on raising their families and supporting the community at large.